Hey friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for y'all. I know I've talked a little bit about the Zack Snyder Justice League movie, the Snyder Cut, here on the channel, and we all had a good time watching it together over there on the Twitch when it released at midnight last Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And I did a review on it. It was like 35 minutes long, and we all speculated, okay, well, what comes next? Well, I'm here to confirm to you what Warner Media has said. Nothing. Nothing's coming next for Zack Snyder's Justice League universe. Instead, they're just doing other stuff. So in an interview with Variety, Warner Media executive Ann Sarnoff had sort of the definitive word here, although, be honest with you, like definitive is kind of in the eye of the beholder these days. Everything's fluid in Hollywood, especially when money's involved. If you have enough money, you can do anything. Anyways, according to this interview here, the question is now about the restore the Snyderverse, which is a fan campaign, not unlike Restore the Snyder Cut, or Release the Snyder Cut, rather, where fans are giving their 2 cents about, hey, we want to see more in this universe. We want to see Justice League 2 and 3 and the next Man of Steel and Ben Affleck take on his own Batman movie like the original plans called for. And she said this, Miss Sarnoff said, I appreciate that they, the fans, love Zack's work, and we are very thankful for his many contributions to DC. We're just so happy that he could bring his cut of the Justice League to life, because that wasn't in the plan until about a year ago. With that comes the completion of his trilogy. We're very happy we've done this, but we're very excited about the plans we have for all the multi-dimensional DC characters that are being developed right now. So yeah, seems like that's it. That's done. She was asked earlier, why did you decide to release the Snyder Cut of the Justice League? She said, we wanted to give Zack the opportunity to complete his vision in a 4-hour movie, which is impossible to do in theaters. We're happy that we have HBO Max to let the rope out, as it were, and allow the fans to see all 4 hours of Zack's vision. She neglected to say anything about HBO Max wanted a bunch of subs, and we like money. That's the actual reason, because they wanted subs for HBO Max, which seemingly, and I don't know if numbers publicly are released about this stuff or if they're just internal. I don't really know, but you would think. So from the beginning, I had sort of thought this is just sort of an interesting situation, a unique moment in big tentpole cinema, where there is a complete and total redo of a movie that had already been released theatrically. And still, I mean, look, I would love to see more movies out of the Snyderverse. I think that he set something up with these first 3 movies, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League, that I would love to see come to fruition. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his style, but I like the Snyderverse the Snyder Cut well enough. I thought it was pretty good. Thought it was pretty fun. And so, yeah, I'd like to see the whole Nightmare Universe timeline stuff come to fruition. It could have been interesting. From a business standpoint, it's even more interesting to me that a company like Warner Media, which obviously is a massive, massive, massive conglomerate, that they will have released something that has so completely captured the zeitgeist of the day, which is incredibly difficult to do. Marvel was able to do it with any number of their releases, mainly Infinity War and Endgame. Black Panther, I know, really caught on. WandaVision. I mean, pretty much everything Marvel does really catches on. But you know, they were able to do that here with their DC property in a way that I don't think has really happened with the DC property. It's just interesting to me that they wouldn't capitalize on this moment and say, hey, we're going to release, you guys responded so well to this. Maybe wait for the actual numbers to come out. You guys responded so well to this that we're going to release a new slate of these Snyder-based movies and still proceed with the other movies in our lineup as well, given that we're dealing with something we call the multiverse. which is where you can have 8 different Batmans running around in their own separate universes. You can have 5 different Supermen running around in their own universe. You could have Wonder Woman in 1984, in 1918, or whenever that first one was set. You can have her running all over the place with different iterations of that. You can have the Flash connecting it all together. That makes the most sense, and you can make money hand over fist. You can have your cake and eat it too. Instead, she says this when asked about striking a balance between being responsive to fans. I mean, these, say what you will, the fans kind of willed this into existence, and it's not a small, narrow, niche chunk of fans. It's the people that want to, I mean, it's a massive amount of people who are probably going to be inflating these HBO Max numbers. She says this: we're always going to listen to our fans, but we are in service of the broadest fan base, and we owe them an integrated, holistic strategy. I thought holistic had to do with like medicine and holistic definition. Holistic means is characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole. Isn't that what we're talking about, though? Isn't like the idea of the Snyderverse, the multiverse, isn't that comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole? I don't know, man. Sometimes these executives, they just sort of speak out of their ass with these terms: paradigm, disruptive technology, holistic approach, integrated strategy. It's all a bunch of cheesy executive speak that really means a bunch of bullshit. She says we are the shepherds of the franchise, and hopefully when the fans see what we've got in the store, they'll know that DC is in good hands across many different platforms and many different creators. Many different platforms and many different creators. I don't think anybody's asking for the Snyderverse to be the lone universe that the DC characters reside in. Like, people marked out big for the trailer for the Batman. I'm really looking forward to seeing Robert Pattinson as the Batman. I think that's going to be fantastic. But there's no reason you can't do it all. They had multiple Batman animated series running at the same time, or at least in succession. There's always been situations where you can have, I mean, right now on the CW, they've got the whole Arrowverse. They've got the Superman and Lois show, which, by the way, doesn't look like absolute crap. They actually looks like they pumped some production money into that as opposed to the rest of the CW stuff. She says, on balance, you, of course, want to listen to your fans, but we do want to stay true to our vision and our mission for DC and build that out. I mean, look, it seemed like from the get-go, when one of the executives there, Walter Hamada, who I think is like sort of directly overseeing DC films, I think he came on board after Justice League, but before Shazam. And it seemed like his approach seemed to be a bit more scaled down. Hey, let's make smaller movies featuring these characters and increase our profit margin, which is ultimately what they're all about. Say what you about the Snyder Cut. That whole franchise of Justice League is probably pretty pricey. I mean, they put $70 million into restoring the Snyder Cut alone, including reshoots, CG, et cetera, et cetera. And so they spend a ton of money. And to be frank, Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and of course, Justice League in 2017, they all, even the first 2 movies, they all underperformed against what they thought it should have done. Man of Steel, I thought, was a pretty solid movie, but it did underperform compared to movies that they're used to, like, you know, like over with Disney, the Avengers movies. Yes, they built those movies up, but in Warner's point of view, seemingly, it's not worth it from a business standpoint because they're spending a ton of money on these movies and they don't make the money back that they want to see, that they're used to seeing, these billion-dollar movies. And these days, that's sort of what these huge companies are in it for, the big billion-dollar movies. Now, maybe, I don't know structurally how things work between Warner Media, Warner Theatrical, Warner Films, DC Films, and HBO Max. There's a lot of money there in Warner Brothers. Maybe HBO Max as a division can reach out and say, hey, we want to produce these movies and these projects that still fit within the Snyderverse. I don't know if that's a possibility. I have no idea. I tend to think not. Zack Snyder did recently say, hey, do you think you'll be coming back to do any of these? And he says, I think the odds of me being asked to do more Justice League movies is greater than what already happened, the odds of me having been asked to restore the original cut of my Justice League movie. So anything's possible. He's taken a very positive approach to this. So I don't know. Who knows? You know, I mean, executives come and go. Different philosophies come and go when it comes to this kind of stuff. Maybe it'll take a year. Maybe it'll take 3 years. Maybe it'll take 5 years. And the interested parties will come back to the table. Who knows? Maybe for now, we'll just have to enjoy what we got with the Snyder Cut. It exists. It's out there. Maybe DC Comics, and this isn't something that I'm necessarily advocating for. Maybe DC Comics will pick it up and say, hey, Zack Snyder, can we get your outline? You want to write a couple of comic books where you can flesh out the Snyderverse stuff? That's not really how I want to see it go down. I'd love to see more of this stuff. Me and Lacey watched, she had never seen Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. We just watched those first two movies. She bawled when Pa Kent died. She cried when Superman died at the end of Batman vs. Superman. I want to see more of that. We're going to watch I'm going to have her watch the Snyder Cut here probably this weekend. I want her to continue to enjoy these characters and see what goes on. So, you know what? Happy wife. Happy your life is better if you have a happy wife, right? Anyways, that's gonna do it for my vlog. Come on, Warner Brothers, get off your ass, get your head out of your asses. Let's get some more Snyder shit, right? Anyways, that's gonna do it for me today. If they're not gonna make more Snyder movies, damn it, maybe I'll just go out and make my own Snyder movies. All right. By the way, leave me a thumbs up, comment on the video, and then go to mfshophere.com. Check out my comic books. They're there. This mask is cutting my fucking eyeballs. God. Enough, mate. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Buy my comics. Talk to you guys later. Yeah. Try to make more